all book lovers. I've read quite a few books in the last few weeks, but the one that I really want to talk to you about is this one. And this one. And this one. And this one. Okay, so I've only read half the series, which means I've read Uglies and Pretties, and I haven't read Specials and Extras yet, but I think it's the perfect time to do my review. I don't know what happens in the second half of the story, so I can't give away any spoilers and ruin the end for you, but I know enough of the story to get you hooked. To give you a brief background on the story, Uglies is set in a dystopian future where when everyone is born, they are considered ugly. All your little imperfections and blemishes and marks and scars, everything that in today's world would make you individual and unique, in this book it makes you ugly. However, every ugly undergoes an operation when they turn 16 to become pretty. Basically, the operation is a lot of extreme plastic surgery to make you look how you've always wanted to look. However, there is one girl called Shay who has decided that she does not want to be pretty when she turns 16. She wants to remain an ugly forever. So she's going to run away and leave the city that she lives in and go to a place where other uglies have run away to before. And Tally, our heroine, has to stop her and get her back. These books were written and came out before The Hunger Games, as the advertising so boldly tells us. But you can really see where the connections are and why people who like these like The Hunger Games and vice versa. The stories and the characters and the plot developments are all entirely different, but the tones and the themes are quite similar. A futuristic world that's gone slightly awry, a corrupt government, and a strong female protagonist who wants to right all their wrongs. It's one of those books that you start thinking about when you're not even near it or reading it. I really love the way that they talk in these books as well, Pretties in particular, because the Pretties have a certain way of talking to each other. It's never explained in the book either. There's no sort of dictionary in the back of the book that tells you what they mean when they're saying these words, but it's introduced in such a simple way, and when it's in context you kind of just pick up on what everything means, and I think it's really cleverly done. And there is a really good love story in this book that the hopeless romantics out there will enjoy. As all books do though, it got me thinking about whether I would want the pretty operation if I was an ugly in that world. Admittedly, I came to the conclusion that if I'd grown up in that world and I thought the way that I look now was considered ugly, I'd probably go through with the operation. But what about you? If a compulsory operation was introduced tomorrow where at 16 you had to become pretty, would you do it or would you try and run away? So after reading 50% of these series, I'm definitely a fan, and they're definitely worth reading, especially if you like The Hunger Games, because they're definitely along the same lines. I said definitely a lot in that sentence. I would give them a 4 out of 5, so check them out if you get a chance. And I shall see you once I've read another book. Okay, so I'm only halfway through the series, which means I've only read... Well, that's great.